Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tasting with Tuanni. Yes, I'm super excited. So I don't know if you're just now tuning in for this first episode or if you've watched the previous two, but this is our third installment of Tasting with Tuanni. My name is Tuanni. I'm based in Cape Town, South Africa. I own a business called Zuri Wine Tasting, and I host a very cool wine experience called Sips with Soul. But enough about all of that. Today, I actually want to give you a wine lesson. Yes, that's what this whole Tasting with Tuanni mission is, just to educate you in a really fun way, a non-intimidating way. And at the end of the video, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, please just put them in the comments below. Make sure that you like this video and make sure that you share this video. Come on now, help a sister out. All right, so tasting with tea. First of all, let me just take a little taste, right? All right, so what I want to talk to you today is about the 6 most common, the most popular grape varietals, right? So I'll call this the big 6. We're going to talk about 3 whites and 3 red wines. Now, these are considered the most popular wine grapes around the world because they're grown in pretty much any region. No matter where you are, you can usually find some kind of version of one of these 6 grape varietals. And we're going to talk about single grape varietals. We're not going to talk about blends, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the grapes and the grape varietals and maybe a little nickname to help you remember what they are and who they are to the world. All right, are you guys ready? Do you guys want to grab a glass? Because I can wait. I'll wait. Just grab a glass of your favorite wine, whatever you have open in the fridge, or open up a new bottle. It is a special occasion, whatever day of the week it is, right? All right. So let's talk about the white wines first, right? So there are 3 pretty common white grape varietals. The first one that we're going to talk about is Sauvignon Blanc. Yes. Okay, Sauvignon Blanc. I really like Sauvignon Blanc, and I'm gonna show you guys a brand name, but this is just the brand name. This is just one of my favorite brands. It's called Eslina. She's a winemaker here in South Africa. She's a woman of color, so she's super extra dope. But Sauvignon Blanc, the grape, that's the first one that we're going to talk about. And I like Sauvignon Blanc as a grape varietal. It's known for having lots and lots of acidity. It's known for having flavors or taste of grapefruits, of green apples, really fresh citrus aromas. It's usually not aged in oak barrels, even though there are some of them that can be aged in oak barrels. If you age it in oak barrels, I know in California we call it a Fumé Blanc. That just means that it has a little bit of smokiness to it because it was aged in the oak barrel, but usually it's stainless steel. It's intended to be high in acidity, crisp, clean, easy drinking wine, perfect for summer on a cool day. So that's Sauvignon Blanc for you. Any questions about Sauvignon Blanc? All right, we're gonna move on to number 2. So number 2, I call this one the queen of white wine. Yes, Miss Queenie. That would be Chardonnay. So here's a Chardonnay from one of my favorite producers, Rutger. He produces his Caratara Chardonnay, and like I said, this is just the brand name, but you can get Chardonnay from any region. Just pick your favorite region, grab a bottle of Chardonnay, and get to know Chardonnay, right? So Chardonnay, I call Chardonnay kind of like the middle of the road grape. You know, it picks up the characteristics of whatever you're doing in the winery. Chardonnay will pick that up. So if you go through a malolactic fermentation with your Chardonnay, you're obviously going to be able to taste that in Chardonnay. It's going to be buttery. It's going to be creamy on your mouth. And that's very common in Chardonnay to have like it go through this second malolactic fermentation and it results in this butteriness. That's the style of Chardonnay that a lot of people like. I prefer my Chardonnay crisp and clean, right? But yeah, Chardonnay can grow in lots of different types of regions. So you can have your cool climate Chardonnays, which are going to be lighter on the palate. You can have your warm climate Chardonnays, which are going to be more full body Chardonnays. And you can always tell like what region that the Chardonnay might grow in based on the color. If it's a dark golden yellow color, it might be from a warmer region. If it's like a very transparent pale yellow, it might be from a cooler region. So that's just like a tip for your Chardonnay. It will also tell by the age. So a Chardonnay that's aged for like 10 years, which you can age Chardonnay. Yeah, you can lay Chardonnay down for a while. It'll become this dark golden yellow color. So that's Chardonnay, queen of white wines. So we have the Sauvignon Blanc, we have the Chardonnay, and then you know what, there's a toss up, there's some kind of like debate. I'm in South Africa, so I would say the third white wine grape would be Chenin Blanc. So Chenin Blanc, Carmen Stevens, hey, shout out to Carmen Stevens. So Carmen Stevens, this is her Chenin Blanc. It's from Stellenbosch, and Chenin Blanc is a grape varietal that is widely planted in South Africa. Outside the Loire Valley, we grow more Chenin Blanc in South Africa than anywhere else in the world. And it's a very, it can be medium bodied to light bodied. It's never really full bodied usually, but medium to light bodied. Chenin Blanc, you're gonna get flavors of like pineapple, apples, like just really yellow fruits. That's what you're gonna get when you talk about Chenin Blanc. All right, but the third one that some people say is the wine to be is also a Riesling. So you can either swap out your big three with Riesling or Chenin Blanc. So Riesling is it's a noble grape. Like, it's one of the noble grapes. They grow it a lot in Germany. Rieslings, you notice, usually have this flat bottom right here. They come in sweet or dry. I like dry Rieslings. Dry Rieslings are still packed with lots of flavors. You'll get floral notes. You'll get like sweetness, but sweetness that comes from fruit, not necessarily sugar. In dry Rieslings, this Riesling is from Kathy Marshall. It's a South African Riesling, and it comes from the region of Elgin in South Africa. So those are your big three wines for white, and then you have your red wines, right? So for your red wines, you are going to have Pinot Noir. So this is your Pinot Noir. I love this Pinot Noir. This is from Kathy Marshall, and I love it. When you look at the bottle, just look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it because the light is shining right through, but it's this very bright red color, and that's what Pinot Noir is known for. It's this pale red color. When you pour it in your glass, it's usually pale enough for you to easily see your fingertips. If you had I Love Tuanni written on your fingertip, you can definitely see it when you pour a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is known for having red fruits. You're gonna have your cherries, your red plums. It's also known for having some tobacco aromas and a little bit of like spiciness to it, you know? I like to call Pinot Noir my Chamar more of red wines, right? So that's the first for the big six reds. And then for the second one, I call this one the middle of the road. It's kind of like equivalent to what a Chardonnay is for the white wines. This is Merlot. So Merlot is medium as middle road because it doesn't usually have a lot of tannins. It doesn't usually have very low tannins. Like the Pinot Noir has very low tannins, right? I forgot to mention that. But Merlot is gonna have those medium tannins, not overbearing tannins. It's gonna have nice rounded fruits. You're gonna get a combination of blue fruits and red fruits. So some blueberries, maybe some dark red cherries. That's typically what Merlot is going to taste like, right? I love a good Merlot. It got a bad rap in the 80s because it was mass produced and overproduced. But like, there's some winemakers who are really taking their time with Merlot and making some really amazing Merlots. This is one of my favorites, Rainbow Inn, which is in Stellenbosch. All right, one more. So this last one, this is what you would call the king of all red wines, right? Well, Chardonnay is the queen, Cabernet Sauvignon is the king, right? And I love Cabernet Sauvignon. I always say that Cabernet Sauvignon is kind of like how I like my men, dark, rich, and strong, right? So Cabernet Sauvignon is gonna have it's gonna have characteristics of higher tannins, this herbaceousness that you have in it, and then this dark fruit, so dark blackberries. Just think about any dark fruit. If it's cherries, it's gonna be the black cherries. It's gonna be the black plums mixed with a little bit of herbaceousness and lots of tannins. So that's your Cabernet Sauvignon for you. So let's just review really quickly. So for the white wines, you have your Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay. If you're in South Africa, we're gonna say Chenin Blanc, but if you're in the rest of the world, you might say Riesling, right? So that's the big three. And then for the big three reds, you're gonna have Pinot Noir, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. So those are the big six, the most popular grape varietals that you can find almost in any country that you visit.